I am filing a human rights complaint against our landlord and looking at deconsecrated churches for sale in Canada.
For Tristan and Lou, a creative refuge was always their long-term plan. But now, they're on a deadline to build a new life before the walls and their finances crumble around them. Lou and Tristan's rented house has potential, and a lot of it, if you count crumbling foundations, exploding power lines, and reoccurring biohazards.
Jesus.
They're artists by trade, creators of fantastical stories and elaborate designs made to welcome people like them, queer, neurodivergent, and often just left out of the picture.
My name is Lou. I'm trained in game development. I'm an artist, a chronic fidgeter with ADHD. I like to build things, paint, write stories. I enjoy art, drawing, and animation. I met Tristan through TikTok in 2019. We were both doing really nerdy, cool cosplay videos, and I dressed up as a little rabbit and I duetted a TikTok of his, and we started talking, and then the rest is gay history. We did the whole courting, dating thing very publicly online on TikTok by just romancing fictional characters back and forth at each other, which is about the most neurodivergent kind of dating and picking up I can think of, but it worked, baby. It worked. It worked. Got him. I love to write stories and make cool stuff and fix things.
Hi, I'm Tristan, artist named Azrai. I have been a wizard, a pirate, a prince, a fairy, a vampire, a demon. I make stories. I usually have my head in about 12 different projects: props, costumes, narratives, games, art. I do have unmitigated ADHD, and in case you couldn't tell, I am unmitigated. I also don't always pick up on subtle social cues, if you know what I mean. Lou and I have been together for almost 5 years now. Very happy. I'm filming in the kitchen. You look cute. What you doing? What's going on?
I'm animating the cat listening to the radio. Cute.
On most days, you'd find them buried in sketchbooks and research, hand-painted props, or setting up scenes from whimsical worlds, turning daydreams into things you can see, play, and touch. But right now, all of that magic has been funneled into the cramped corner of a damp house as they work on their most urgent project yet: survival.
It's beginning to smell a lot like sewage in our basement full of mold. Every summer it starts to stink. By the winter we're on the brink. Send my regards to the old landlord.
When you're living in a rental that makes you sick, time works against you.
It's not optimal. That's not great. I don't love that. You see this? This is what those gutter drains are supposed to do. This is where they're supposed to go. All the way on the street. All the way on the street.
Every day the landlord refuses repairs is another day the mold spreads, and another night you're trying to work, sleep, and breathe in a place that's rotting from the inside out.
We're rescuing the street.
Thank you.
It's got a lot of mirrors and stuff. It's very fragile.
I don't know what kind of value it has other than just a family heirloom.
Sentimental.
Yeah. We watched it already once to rescue it from a mold palace.
I'm Australian, living in Montreal, Quebec in Canada, in a rental that seemed fine on the outside and the basement is riddled with mold. And that's every rental that I've ever lived in. Am I allowed to cuss? That's every rental that I've ever been in, and I think that that's a shame. And when I friggin' move into a place that I can own, it's not gonna happen in my house. Not gonna happen in my house.
Mold exposure is no joke, and you do not build up a tolerance to mold, by the way, you just get sicker. And Lou has had major mold exposure before, plus chronic pain from spinal injuries. You know what triggers chronic pain? Inflammation from mold. It's been very frustrating. We have been trapped waiting for repairs that are not coming, and our landlord has decided to focus on trying to get us evicted instead of making repairs. And we want to leave. After this past year and a bit, our savings are gone. We can't afford to move or even pay our insane electric bill unless the tribunal steps in.
The window for justice through the housing tribunal is narrowing.
I have probably spent over 300 hours on this case. All while we are sick and injured and paying for every cent of our health care out of our pockets. Do you know that blood tests that you have to get every couple of months as a transgender person are $400? Did you know that they're $400? I have to pay subscription to my gender. Letting it happen in silence feels wrong. You don't get help if you suffer in silence, and you don't accomplish anything in isolation, so I think it's important. It's important to document this.
With no hearing date of their own in sight, while the landlord pushes for eviction, a human rights complaint becomes their best shot at intervention. Miss it. It's really hard to say these things in a goofy, happy voice because I'm like, man, I'm worried about you guys. Miss it, and the chance to hold them accountable could vanish, along with the roof over their heads.
I'll tell you what, I have used Canva to make all of my evidence documents and everything. I am definitely using it in ways that it was never meant to be used. My life would fall apart without my Canva subscription.
I'm currently trying to make a stream overlay. It's going to be fully animated, and most of it is hand-drawn. The idea is that when this is done, I can stream in a way where I don't have to be on camera. It is overly ambitious because I'm exhausted. I think it could be quite beautiful, and sometimes you have to pursue unrealistic goals to make something cool. So.
Since we moved in, I have been cooking a lot more, out of necessity, but I think that when the apocalypse comes, I could just be the bread guy. Nobody attacks the bread guy. I made chicken pot pies from scratch with 1 chicken breast and $0. I think that's heinous. God. I would give anything to not be touching this right now. Oh God, it's so squishy. So that state of printers, yeah. Neat. And they were good. And when you've been in constant crisis mode, finishing something good, even a small thing, feels like a really big win.
By the end of the day, Lou has animated new scenes for his upcoming stream launch, work that could become an important source of income, and the smell of buttery pastry fills the house as Tristan's pot pies cool on the counter.
This is peasant core.
Baked from scratch, they're more than a simple dinner. They're proof that, for at least today, something worthwhile can be made from nothing. Beyond the narrow counters and dank, borrowed walls, they've dreamed of a place to call their own.
What I would really love is just like some place to settle down in and just get to work, because I feel like my whole life has been a series of transitional and liminal spaces. We've had a series of pretty gnarly stuff happen to us, and fingers crossed this will be our turning point. I feel like if I just had a reliable space to create things, I might actually be able to get something done. And I know that given like an inch of stability, that Az would flourish and thrive, and that's what I always wanted, to create some kind of stability so that Az could have the freedom to do what he does, and I think that that's mutual. And I love him very much. We love to make stories together, and that is all that I want to do.
What if you could step into a story and not just watch it? Wear the costumes yourself, do the magic, share a meal in character, make a decision that changes the ending, or even just build the props. I rarely write or make videos just for people to sit and watch. It's more like I'm building a doorway and inviting them in. The worlds Lou and I make don't work without the people who step into them. Right now, everything we've ever made has come from extremely MacGyvered together spaces that we could carve out of a rental, or other spaces that we have no agency over. A permanent home means that we could open those doors, metaphysical or physical, all year. All the time. We can run themed events that put you in the story of another time or place. It's also a big part of the dream to host artist residencies for other creators, especially queer, disabled, neurodivergent, or otherwise marginalized artists, so they can do the same. So you could come back to this space and see their stories come to life in these same halls that you stood in. I love storytelling. And when the world gets hard, making stories, making art, especially together, I think that's one of the most important things we can do. Literally millions of people have already been involved in work that we made in living rooms and borrowed spaces with props that I made from tinfoil and paper plates. I can't help but imagine what happens when we have a space designed around creating, with workshops and sets and a community that keeps coming back because they're part of the story. If you show up one day, show this to a friend, leave a suggestion, or even just imagine with us a little bit and tell us what you would build in a space like this. Congratulations, you're part of it too. The more people who walk through that door, the bigger the story gets. And I like to dream big.
A kitchen where enough food for a crew simmers from dawn to dusk. A studio where costumes, set pieces, and the artists themselves can breathe in clean, safe air. An event hall ready for the games, gatherings, and workshops they've planned for years. An artistic refuge, a home no landlord can neglect into ruin or take away. The human rights complaint is officially submitted.
Well done.
Get some rights.
Yeah, please. I promise I'm mostly human.
Yeah, can I have one human right, please? I would ask for one.
At a time.
I'll take what I can get at this point. One spot.
One step closer to justice. An open human rights file won't fix the French drain or clear the air tomorrow, but it gives the tribunal reason to act and puts the landlord under pressure to do the right thing.
It says on their website that they can even represent you in court, and we really need the help.
But a filed complaint doesn't fix a hazardous home.
If the tribunal doesn't hear us before the eviction, then we're out, with nowhere to go. If that happens, Lou and I could be deported. Maybe to different countries. I'll tell you what though, they can pry Lou from my cold dead fingers. Or I'll pry him from theirs. Just kidding. Or am I? I'm not.
While they wait for the tribunal's clock to turn, the landlord's application for eviction moves forward. And the repairs they need aren't just late, they're dangerously overdue.
This program was made possible by generous contributions to your local gay wizard commune from patrons like you.